She kind of liked to give us experiences outside. Used to take us out to the forest a lot. She liked kind of teaching us bushcraft things quite a bit. She just kind of wanted us to kind of have a nice experience outdoors like she had when she was a kid. Well, we kind of knew she was going to die maybe a few months beforehand. It spread to her spine. It was around that point I think we pretty much realised it was not going to get cured at all. And I guess it's difficult to kind of accept that. You kind of still hold on to the fact just maybe they're going to be able to find a way to fix it, so there's going to be some way to do it. Yeah. I kept my emotions inside of me a lot because I found it easier to deal with it that way if I just kept going. And for quite a while that's just how I did it. I just kept it inside and I kept on moving. And no matter how strong you think you are, it's not a normal strength you have to have for this.
He was playing football and his friend had just scored a goal, and he just fell to his knees, and at that moment apparently he started having a fit, and I didn't really know what was going on until the next morning when my mum told me and that Dad just wasn't there. We had our last short walk with Daddy along the canals, and that was probably the last walk we had before Daddy died.
I remember it was on a Tuesday and he was due home from work that night. It was like 11:30 in the morning because, you know, it's summer holidays, so I slept in. And I remember hearing the doorbell go and I just rolled over and went back to sleep because, you know, it was nothing of importance. And I remember hearing my stepmom continually just scream no, and I was like, what the hell? And I couldn't get out of bed quick enough and I couldn't put my dressing gown on quick enough and nothing was going fast enough. And she was screaming for me and I was like, she's being taken, what's happening? And where my stairs are, you could walk down the stairs and then see the front door. And when I saw the front door, I obviously saw the man all in uniform, and it was that. And that's when I got told, so. I mean, it's 8 months soon, and the reality still hasn't kicked in, and there's still times where I sit and go, he should be coming home soon, or I should get that phone call. I mean, I started school a week after my dad died, and I remember walking out of school and it was my first day back and I was so happy that I'd done this day, and I picked up my phone and I went to ring him, and my stepsister was at that school with me and she was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm ringing Dad. And it was that kind of then, it hit me. I was like, I can't ring him. He's not there to answer, and it's that.
Well, the first time we found out about Dad being ill was when I think they went to Coventry Hospital and Mum had to bring us out to tell us that it was cancer, and yeah. You know how they close all the curtains? They closed all the curtains and I went in there once and everybody was saying, talking to him, and I just couldn't do it.
It's probably the most vivid memory I've got. I remember just playing a board game with my mum in the evening and heard a knock at the door, and there were 2 policemen there. And ever since, I've always been looking at policemen differently, although I know I shouldn't. And I just remember that whole evening was just a blur, and it went quickly, but also slowly at the same time. I was between this stage of being too young to understand and being old enough to know everything and know how to cope with it. So I thought that was the only way to deal with it, was to help other people and ignore what was going on inside myself. They tried to protect me from everything, but I felt I felt guilty of that, because I felt that I wanted to help them too. And my friends at school, they didn't know what to do. They'd never had this happen before.
I do remember at school you'd sort of kind of try and pull it together a bit more. You wouldn't just feel quite as sad, you'd kind of block it out of your mind. You go one day to the next and you just sort of focus on the work in and out and try and forget about it almost. I turned into more or less a robot. I did robotic things. I just went about my life. I just went from day to day and I just kept on going. I'd really think people should try and know that just the way we don't all deal with this the same.
What might be okay to one kid who's been bereaved might not be okay to the other, because there's 2 completely different stories. And I think that teachers think that everything's going to be fine after 2-3 months, and it's not. It never, I mean, 8 months down the line and it's still not okay. So I think teachers really need to realise that after 2-3 months, things aren't going to get any better for you, and you're still going to be feeling really down about it and really confused. And they need to understand that the support they put in place for that, it needs to stay for as long as that person feels they need it, not as long as the school can offer it.
I definitely got the most support at the start from my family, but I stayed in shock for about a year and I didn't open up very much, so I knew that they worried about me. And after that, everything started to open up and I went to the Shakespeare Hospice. At first I did one-on-one counselling and that helped me a little bit, but after I joined the group I realised that there were many more people in my position and many more that I could relate to, and I knew that I wasn't alone, and that helped me a lot.
It's not good to bottle it up. Even if you feel as if you've got no one to turn to, or you feel as if nobody will understand, there is always going to be that one person that will understand and will be there for you. You don't want to be seen as some freak, or you don't want to be seen to be different because you've got one less parent than somebody else, or you've been bereaved, but people start acting really different around you and you feel, and then that has an effect on you, thinking you're not normal yourself.
I wish that maybe one day, that maybe just, because it's just a hope, but it's probably not going to happen, that I'll see Daddy again. Maybe just in my dreams, because I don't have dreams about him. I can't remember the dreams that I had when he'd only just died, so I just don't remember them. And it's horrible to think that I'm starting to forget how he looked.